Joined by Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi, later briefed the media outlining proposed measures and regulatory changes aimed at curbing scholar transport crashes. Monge Ziko Ko, Eyewitness News, Sebokeng.
Gauteng police have launched an investigation into the murder of 2 people and the attempted murder of 3 others following a shooting outside the Boysons Magistrate Court this afternoon. It's understood 3 gunmen wearing caps approached a group of 5 people as they were leaving court and fired shots. One of the injured survivors is a well-known attorney who is understood to be representing a suspected underworld figure who he had met at the court for consultation. The accused was in court for a murder and attempted murder case that happened in April last year at Mondio in the south of Joburg. Gauteng police spokesperson Brenda Muridili.
The 2 victims were declared dead on the scene and 3 were taken to hospital with gunshot wounds. The police's serious and violent crime investigations from the provincial office will be investigating a case of 2 counts of murder and 3 counts of attempted murder.
And lastly, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says the bloc plans massive investments in Greenland in a bid to counter US President Donald Trump's threats to take the territory. She says she stands in full solidarity with the autonomous Danish territory, declaring the sovereignty and integrity of their territory and saying that it's non-negotiable. EU leaders are expected to meet in Brussels on Thursday for a summit aimed at forging a united response to Trump's escalation over Greenland. A partly cloudy Wednesday in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected tomorrow. Joburg will drop to overnight lows of 14 degrees and peak at highs of 25, and Pretoria and Vereeniging are both at 15 and 26 degrees. Noluthando Ngeno, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Comfort ends where Marawa Sports Worldwide begins.
CAF President Patrice Motsepe hit back strongly at claims of European influence on African football decisions.
We don't massage egos. We confront them.
Where you are wrong, absolutely wrong. Your facts are incorrect. No, just keep quiet now. Keep quiet. Keep quiet. I asked you a question and I kept quiet, so don't interrupt me. Where you are also talking absolute nonsense is to say to me that we will run Africa for Europe. Absolute rubbish. You're insulting us. We run Africa for Africa.
If it's shaking sport, we are already on it.
MCLG Coach Rolando Mukwena, I know you got a contract in Algeria and there is an open vacancy after the World Cup. Is that an interest of yours?
You know, they say people plan, but God decides. So when God decides that it's the right time, it will happen.
#MSW. Strong opinions, strong sources, strong sport.
Sadio Mane, who stayed on the field and eventually went in and got his players to come back out again. He is the hero of the night, and he is the hero of the entire competition, because that said an awful lot. To take your players off the field, that's just not acceptable, just because you disagree with a decision.
If it matters in sport, it lands here first on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
I'll just go back to the thing. I know they had to go and reload a dressing room. You know what I mean when I say reload. Pindumut. Yeah.
There's a conspiracy theory going around that Brian Diaz purposely missed that penalty just so that the game can go on. That when Mane called them back, they had a discussion with the Senegalese people and they told them, oh, miss the penalty and we'll continue the game. Brian Diaz, if he scores that, I think he'd have scored his 6th goal at the AFCON. He'd have been one of the players ever to score, one of the fewest players ever to score 6 goals at AFCON, win Morocco their first AFCON in the last 48 years. Do you actually think he'll throw that away? Final minute of an AFCON final, they are trying. Are you Zidane? Are you Zidane?
Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Oh my word, he went for power.
From boardrooms to touchlines.
He and his executive committee are dead men walking.
We connect the dots. Monday to Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. #MSW.
Okay, Sue's in the building, ladies and gentlemen. The Room Dividers. It is Marawa Sports Worldwide. Proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go! The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
Oh man, the room dividers on Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM and Sowetan Live is powered by FNB. Spend, save and score when you get in the game with FNB this summer.
Dividing public opinion.
Are they empowering?
And setting the rugby agenda.
Do not forget where your history South Africa is. The enemy's desire is to try and erase it.
Welcome. You're with the Room Dividers.
Oh man, we've missed these guys so much. Gentlemen, good to have you back. Thando Manana, as well as Mike Greenaway. I'll introduce them formally and give them all their special titles in a second, but it's a brand new year. And it's the first time I see you in 2026. How's it treating you, Mike? Welcome back.
Oh, yeah, no, fantastic, guys. And what a year. I'm telling you now, this is going to be a year like no other. The greatest rivalry tour, the Nations Cup. I mean, it's all happening. It's going to be a fantastic year for the Springboks.
Oh, I hope so. I think when the All Blacks touch down in South Africa, we're going to feel that magic. Thando Manana, I know you've been playing golf. You've just arrived back from Sun City. You've got an improved handicap. Congratulations. What a start to the year.
Rob, I'm a golfer. Treat
100%.
me like a real golfer.
How should real golfers be treated?
With utmost respect, Rob. Good afternoon to you, sir. Happy New Year to you and to the listeners, and to Miko, and to the other golfers. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be at the Room Divide. I'm a golfer.
What's your handicap?
It's at 12.
At 12?
Yes.
My goodness, that's a magical climb from 20-something last year.
How do you know that?
I'm a golfer.
No. How do you know that? How do you know that?
All right, let's get down to the business of things here because, things can get out of hand with Mr. Manana in the studio. But looking forward to a positive start, though, to the new year. And that is why tonight we wanted to celebrate a little bit of excellence here, guys. Massive stuff that has been happening. We're saluting resilience. At the same time, we salute a team that's refused to blink on the world stage. From the desert heat of Dubai, a new chapter in South African rugby has now been written. Not with noise, though, but with discipline. Not with chaos, but with control. So the Springbok women's sevens were ice cold under pressure. They were ruthless in their defense, masters of the tempo, unbeaten in pool play, clinical in the semi-final. And when the moment demanded courage in the final, they dug deep, they fought back, and they conquered Argentina 12-5 to lift the HSBC SVNS 3 title in Dubai. Now, at the heart of this rising force, guys, stands a man who knows what winning looks like. He's a former Blitzbok legend himself. He's a student of the game. He's somebody that we all respect here on the show. He's a coach now, carving his own golden path. And since taking over in October, he's gone back to back from Nairobi to Dubai, from belief to silverware, from promise to progress. And now with qualification secured for the HSBC SVNS 2 series as the journey to 2026 gathers serious momentum. Joining us tonight to reflect on a special weekend and to unpack the defensive steel, the unity, the hunger, and looking ahead to Nairobi on the 14th of February and the 15th of Feb. We welcome the head coach of the Springbok Women's Sevens, Cecil Africa, ladies and gentlemen. Cecil, good to have you on the show. Good evening.
Good evening, Rob Marawa. Thank you for having me on the show. Good evening to all the listeners.
We couldn't help but celebrate you, man. We had to bring a positive story to kickstart the Room Dividers for 2026. Well done, Coach. Well done. Congratulations. Thank you for flying the flag so high once again. You highlighted the defense and also the tempo control in Dubai. Was it a deliberate tactical shift or a natural evolution of the group?
Yeah, I think, Rob, it's obviously from Nairobi, from Kenya Africa Cup, and then into Dubai 7-3. We identify areas of the game where we need to improve, knowing that obviously the opposition is going to be better, and you could see the way the ladies defended for each other. There was a lot of care showing for each other. So yeah, I just have to say thank you to every individual and staff member who sacrificed a lot during the December holidays. There was a lot of sacrifice. You could see that's why the girls were really fighting hard for each other.
I mean, Argentina, when you look at the game, they scored first in that final. What did you say to the players, though, to spark that particular comeback without any panic?
No, I just told them, ladies, we know what is the plan, and in the first half, we didn't really execute the plan, but we are in a great position now to really see and test our character, where we are as a team. And so the ladies just went out, they really believed in each other, and they really fought hard for each other because they know what they have sacrificed over the festive season, where we had to train just after Christmas and just after New Year, so we know we put in the hard work, and also during that time, during the festive season, we had the passing of the former Springbok captain of Lusanda, Dunke, who really played a massive role in women's rugby in South Africa, and we also carried her with us during this journey, and that really played a massive role and made us truly successful this past weekend.
Yeah, I mean, the passing of Lusanda Dunke is a touching moment, and obviously something that is very close to the heart of Thando Manana, who's here in studio with us, having visited her on many occasions, been by her bedside, been at the funeral, really supported the family through the darkest of times as well. We'll touch on her passing when we get straight into the room dividers itself, but thanks for flagging that, Cecil, because I think some of these tragedies, when they do happen, and they happen during a festive season, and people might not actually know about the tragedy itself, but we will touch on it later on the show. But just quickly going back to the game, I mean, Dubai, when you look at it, is physically demanding. How impressed were you with the squad's conditioning, the game management across the weekend?
Yeah, I think obviously our SNC OB is really putting the hard work. We know what is the demands of the game, and you could see we really went out there and obviously did our job. But what I can say, obviously the group has been coming on a couple of years now, and we made mistakes at crucial moments in the past, and you could see this past weekend that we were calm, controlled, because we talked about the scenarios. This might happen. What is the possibility? How is our action going to be, that we don't panic and really understand the situation that we're in, because not only this past tournament, but tournaments coming forward in the future, there's also going to be pressure moments. We need to talk about it, because we don't play often games, but when the pressure moments come, then we know how to deal with it. So I think the ladies really executed the plan and listened and trust each other.
All right, so Cecil, I've got Mike Greenaway here in studio. Mike?
Yes, Cecil, congratulations on how things are going. Look, I mean, it's been last year was a fantastic year for women's rugby in general. And we saw how the ladies in the Ladies World Cup just really came through. I'm just wondering now, in terms of the sevens, what kind of groundswell is there behind you guys? I mean, we've seen it with the 15s in terms of the infrastructure, the support. What is coming through for you guys as you try and propel yourselves to the next level?
Yes, obviously we needed support, and we're truly blessed to have our GM Dave Wessels really trying support and pulling the strings from the high to scenes to make sure that we have the necessary needs to make sure that we can optimal at the high level, because all of us know that the high performance environment is very demanding. But obviously, as things go, every tournament got its own challenges. But we're working on a plan and try and make sure that we fulfill those shortcomings within the squad. And yes, and we trust and believe that our GM is giving us the necessary support to make sure that we can perform at the highest level.
And we're seeing some of the senior ladies are in fact involved in the sevens. Nadine, Ayanda Malinga, and who had like pivotal roles in how you've been going. What is the sort of talent coming through looking like, and will it eventually be that you will have your own kind of talent for your specific sevens ladies?
Yeah, obviously it's a bit difficult, as we're trying to get more games and more exposure, because the demand between sevens and 15s is vastly different, and also the athlete. But we're trying to identify youth players now from the age of 19, 20 years old, to make sure that we build our depth to make sure once the other likes of Nadine, Rosine Klempupa, Alinga, Ayanda Malinga, Maria Tsarema, all of them move on from sevens, that our depth is big enough to make sure that those youngsters is coming through. So obviously the Women's Premier Currie Cup is going to start on the 14th of February whilst we in Nairobi. So hopefully during that time we can also identify some young talent in South Africa.
Cecil, just looking ahead to your next tournament, obviously it's a step up to another level. What do you guys expect there? Who are the teams that you are going to be playing? Just to educate listeners in general about women's sevens rugby, the kind of teams that you are now going to be facing after you've won through to this next level, and how do you think you guys can perform against them?
So in the next competition we're gonna play. There's 3 tournaments that we're gonna play. One in Nairobi, one in Uruguay, and one in Brazil. That is 3 tournaments. So after those 3 tournaments, then you get the accumulative points, and then you get the rank from 1 to 4. So our goal is to finish within the top 4, so that we can get another 3 tournaments, which is the World Champs, where we will play the top 8 in the world, which is New Zealand, Australia, Fiji, Great Britain, France, all of those teams. So that is the main goal. But the teams that we're going to play now against is going to be Spain, Brazil, China, Kenya, and Argentina. So that is the pool that we are in, and I think it's going to be much more physical than Dubai, and also much more high intensity. But obviously there's going to be much more structure, so you know what the team are going to do, what you can expect. So we will do our utmost best to make sure that we can prepare the team as well as possible to identify what the opposition is trying to do against us, and we can try and stop them, and also try to outsmart them from attacking side of things. You know, like I firmly believe sevens is a human chess game. So it's all about understanding how the coach is thinking and how we can beat him with his plan.
I mean, 2 tournament wins, Cecil, in your first few months in charge. I mean, what has surprised you the most when you just chat about the group as a collective?
For me, is the willingness to show care for each other and really grasp the concept, what we're trying to do, and really buying into the plan and understanding that things are not going to be easy for us, you know, and everybody wants to be at the big event, but it's going to be, for us, we got to make sure that we discipline with the small things, even when no one is watching, you know, and you could see during the festive season when the ladies came in the beginning of January, you could see they still well conditioned. So that tells me they understand our mission and where we need to go, and they really sacrifice a lot. But it's just really grasping the concept of really to be a better person and then a better player.
All right, Cecil, I think that's all the time we have for you. We could chat from now until Kingdom Come, but all we wanted to do was literally just celebrate those achievements, congratulate you as well as the squad for putting up a very, very good fight. And we continue to support you and all your endeavors. May it continue. And thank you so much again, Cecil.
Thank you so much, Robert, and thank you for all the listeners, and thank you for pushing our program out there. We need all the support in women's rugby in South Africa.
All right, you're doing the hard yards, guys. You will get our support. Trust me, the Room Dividers are here for exactly that. That is Cecil Africa, Springbok Women's Sevens coach, joining us right here on hashtag MSW. It is Marawa Sports Worldwide with the Room Dividers when we come back from the break. In fact, before we go to the break...
Welcome back, the Room Dividers. Compliments of the new season. Yes, we hope him going to have the best rugby season also this year. Thank you.
Hashtag MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. Hashtag MSW.
There's so much more to enjoy when you fly in Emirates Economy. More legroom, delicious regionally inspired meals, complimentary free-flowing drinks, and the latest movies, TV shows, music, and live sport. Some of the best entertainment in the skies. And our family services make your journey simple and fun. Plan your next trip and start the holiday early in Emirates Economy. Fly Emirates, fly better.
To live wealthier, you need to be able to grow your assets. At Standard Bank Private, you get a team of internationally acclaimed financial experts to advise you on local and global investment strategies. Plus, being with the leader in home loans, you can start expanding your property portfolio. So, come live wealthier with Africa's best private bank. Apply online at standardbank.co.za. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
The briefcases, the offers, the suspense. Don't miss a single moment on Deal or No Deal. Weeknights at 6:30 only on SABC2. It's real people, real money. One bold move could change everything. Fortune favors the bold. Will you deal? Brought to you by Lotto Star.
Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18s. National Responsible Gambling Program. 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Checkers makes back to school better and better with savings of up to 40% on deals like a flip file display file 20 pockets for $22.99. Save 11 Rand. Pritt glue stick 43 grams for $39.99. Save 18 Rand. And Typec copy paper 5 reams of 500 sheets per box for $339.99. Save 60 Rand. Valid until Sunday at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
Supercharge your business productivity with Moloi Innovative Solutions. We bring the most highly customized and cost-effective IT infrastructure to your fingertips. Whether it's desktop and server support, cloud services or hardware, software and printer procurement, our dynamic team makes sure that you have the tech that resonates with you. Moloi Innovative Solutions. Experience at its best. Get to molois.co.za for more.
Where can 2,999 per month take you?
I'll take you there.
To adventure where the skies open wide through a sunroof.
I'll take
to 187mm ground clearance that helps you rise above outdoor challenges. To the 5-star global NCAP safety rating that protects your journey. Book a test drive today because from only 2,999 per month, the Tata Punch can take you there. T's and C's apply.
I'll take you there.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
The final whistle and Senegal seal a sensational success.
Dr. Errol Sweeney, thank you so much for joining us, coming live from Ireland. What did you make of that, Doc?
I thought overall the referee had a good game. I know he's getting a lot of stick. First instance where the goal was scored and the Moroccan player went down. That Moroccan player should have been cautioned for simulation. He was the one who initiated the contact. He put his hands out. That goal should have been allowed. You know, football or soccer as some call it, it is a physical game. There is physical contact, but it's the amount of that physical contact that the referee has to determine as to whether it's just a tussle between two players or whether one has tried to overcome the other with more aggressive type of tussling.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Marawa Sports Worldwide. We ask the questions they are scared to answer.
It was a mutual conversation. It was a mutual termination.
Hashtag MSW.
Well, summer is here. The vibes, the braais and the chies are all lit. Now, from stocking up your pool party to road tripping with friends, every tap, scan and swipe at F&B counts. Well, you could score exclusive global travel discounts, e-bucks rewards, and amazing prizes like a braai with Usia Kolisi for you, as well as 9 guests. Now spend, save, and score and get in the game with F&B. F&B, help changes everything. F&B, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider, NCRCP 20. T's and C's and rules and limits apply. It is the Room Dividers.
Not positive, Mike. Mike is not positive. It took 20 minutes.
Get inside the action and huddle.
Can't just attack and attack and attack.
With Robert Marawa on Room Dividers.
The Room Dividers.
The Room Dividers. On Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Well, I think the rugby world has been shaken to its core. A bombshell out of New Zealand late last week. The sudden sacking of the All Blacks head coach, Scott Robertson. Just 2 weeks. I don't even know if it was 2 weeks after a certain gentleman had spoken about it here in the studio. But 2 years into a 4-year deal, you and I would say unthinkable, unprecedented, or ominously familiar. So that is why tonight we bring you the Room Dividers, where the big rugby questions are going to be asked, debated, dissected, divided. Joining me is a man who's won the green and gold with pride, Thando Manana, the former SA Under-23 junior Bok, as well as a Springbok flank, a forward who knows exactly what pressure at the highest level feels like. And alongside him, one of the sharpest rugby minds in the game, Mike Greenaway, independent media rugby writer and author of The Fireside Springbok, a man who understands Springbok history, all the All Black psychology, as well as the power shifts that shape the world of rugby. So, gentlemen, the New Zealand rugby, as we said, is at a crossroads. I know that this is an issue that's been boiling in Thando Manana's blood ever since, Mike. He mentioned something last year,
which I was never acknowledged for.
What? Wow.
Which you didn't acknowledge that.
I saw your message. You
blue ticked me.
I did.
Yes.
Deliberately, because I wanted you to unpack it here in the studio.
Oh, wow. Rob, first and foremost, last year, just to remind our listeners, something came up to me just looking at what was currently happening in New Zealand. I think New Zealand, ever since the appointment of the now coach that has departed, there's never been any consistency in their coaching from the back days where you had the great coaches that was there before. So I think I just had a sense that he could be fired because he's lost the change room. And that's one of the main reasons. The only sad thing is that an individual one, Adisa Via, was identified as the person. No, it's not. It's a collective of them. But his name stands out amongst the others. And that's also, for me, talks of no real accountability. The players, if we were to look from Leon McDonald, why all of a sudden he left? All the coaches left under the same head coach. It says there's a problem in how you do things and run things. Even when he was at the Crusaders, Todd Blackadder, they had already created that culture for him to be able to continue with that. I think when you go to the All Black level, as much as he has a 74% record, is when, in talk of international rugby, the coach must have a backbone and he must lead the team. And that's his only problem. He's not a bad coach. He can be employed like any other coaches can be employed, Rob. But you can't afford to lose a dressing room of the first and last team that you want to be the same as your predecessors. 2011, 2015. At the back of their mind, they stuck to that. For us as South Africa, we've realized we need a coach that can hold the changing room. Alistair Coetzee didn't have that. He didn't last more than 2 years. When Rassie came, you can look, Rob, when Rassie came, the first thing he made sure is that he holds the dressing room. Whether if he was a director of rugby, whether he's now the coach, he still holds the changing room. And that's what's important at international, because you're a coach, you're managing players with egos, with talent, that you must be able to be open with that. That was the main thing. So I just, from nowhere, just reading, that was my opinion. And 2 months later, it has happened. I think people have got to read the room. New Zealand rugby is in dire straits. The CEO is gone. The coach is gone. Basically, you probably could have only 2 development officers at the New Zealand rugby head offices because they need to start afresh. We've been through this path, Rob. We know what it feels like. We mustn't make ourselves as if we are this holy. We are not holy. We've come from this route. So they need to make that shift quickly because they've got a big tournament coming up. They've made a lot of money this year, but they still suffer huge losses when you look at their surplus in their financial year end. So I think for me, New Zealand rugby needed this time. We were talking about it. We beat them back to back in South Africa for the first time in a long time. So these things have been coming. So I think whoever is going to come through, I don't know who, because it's not been announced who the shortlist will be. But I think what's important is they've got to get their act together and quickly.
All right, so that's a great background summary of what has happened here, Manana. And like you say, that you saw the storm while it was brewing at a distance last year. And it's happened, Mike. It's there. It's right in front of us. I know now there's a talk about there being no release clause that is bringing forward. But will New Zealand Rugby now break the bank to buy him out of that contract?
Yeah, look, okay, so just 100% what Tando has said. So what we had from the start of this millennium, we had Graham Henry, who coached for 10 years, and his assistant Steve Hansen took over from him, and Steve Hansen's assistant Ian Foster took over from him. So they had that kind of consistency and momentum that we didn't have as Springboks. We never had it in South Africa. It was always at the end of a 4-year cycle, a coach went, then the next coach came in, and we changed, and it was a whole new assistant coaching system, whole new senior coach player system. Now we, for once, have got it's the opposite, because what happened when Alice Coetzee went in 2018 is that Rassie came in, and now we have the consistency that New Zealand used to have. So what we have now is a coaching staff that is signed up to 2031, and that's exactly what, to just go back, what the All Blacks had for 20 years. Now we've got that and they don't have it. It's like a complete reverse. I just wonder though, guys, look, things can be ominous because New Zealand are in exactly the same position as the Springboks were in 2018 when Rassie came in. They now got a new coaching staff coming in still. We don't know who it's going to be, but they are starting 2 years out from a World Cup as Rassie and his assistants started 2 years out from a World Cup. And we know things can change very quickly. It looks like at this stage, the front runner, all the reports out of New Zealand are that Jamie Joseph, a former All Black himself, a former coach of Japan, a former coach of many teams, looking like he is the front runner. And we know, and Tando, you all back me up on this, that his assistant through when they coached Highlanders to Super Rugby title, Otago to an NPC title, Sunwolves to doing well in Super Rugby, Japan to doing really well. Jamie Joseph's assistant was Tony Brown.
Yes.
And they are going to want him.
Yes.
Will they get him? So that's the big question, is that what would it take? Because on social media, Rassie's actually emphasized the fact that he's going nowhere.
Rob, Rassie said the same when he was at Munster.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. He said the same. When he left here, he went to Munster. He said, this is home. And then that call from the CEO then, Yuri Roo, to offer him the job. He looked at himself, he looked in the mirror, and he saw the South African flag. And he came back. You can't separate the two. Is that we have a New Zealander who's an assistant coach within Rassie's team. Not the head coach, the assistant coach. He gets an opportunity, if it's there already, to talk to Jamie Joseph. And like Mike has said now, which I won't repeat, is that they come a long way together. I'm sure in one of their chats was to always wear that black blazer and take the New Zealander back to its former glory days. Both of them have been All Black players, Rob. Both of them have worn the black jersey. So blood is thicker than water. We can't isolate that. Any person listening have to understand the allegiance will always point you back home.
Yes.
That's important. Is money to buy him out. Sia was bought out from Racing 92.
Yeah.
When the Sharks didn't have the money, but they found the money to buy him back in the country. That's possible. So we can't use money that they won't be able to pay him out because there's just 2 to go. However, at the end, we have good relationships with New Zealand as South African rugby. I think what will happen behind the scenes will be a lot of great chats. But finally, New Zealand know what they want. You've got Van Cotter, who's also a runner for the position. Did well when he was also at Fiji and is coaching up in Northern. You've got Dave Rennies, you've got John Mitchell, and so they have these. But New Zealand just wants to see that combination coming back and restoring that New Zealand pride. So for me, Rob, is never say never.
Because there's a prestige of coaching the All Blacks as well that comes with that.
100%.
The prestige is something we cannot ignore, especially leading to a Rugby World Cup and a big World Cup. Yeah. How much is Rassie going to lose? Because when you guys are talking about, well, what are the conversations that are happening behind the scenes? How open and honest are those conversations when you're talking about the big rival who is going to be coming to South Africa shortly?
Yeah, well, exactly. So, first of all, I just want to say something about Tony Brown. I mean, he is a gentleman. I have a relationship with him. I've interviewed him many times. He is a scholar and a gentleman, and I cannot see him. Let's just say Jamie Joseph takes the job, and then it's offered to Tony Brown, and New Zealand Rugby says, we'll buy SA Rugby out. Look, in 7 months' time, the All Blacks are here in South Africa. Is Tony Brown, the gentleman that he is, going to say to Rassie, I'm now going to jump over the fence and I'm going to go to my old team, the All Blacks, and I'm now going to give them all that intelligence from the 2 years I've been with the Springboks, which will give them a massive boost ahead of the greatest rivalry tour. I don't think that will happen. I do think it's not impossible that Tony Brown will eventually end up at the All Blacks if Jamie Joseph gets the job. But I think that the honour within that man will be that he won't do it this year and hopefully not before the next World Cup. And if he does, well, let's not even talk about if he is or isn't going to go. What we're talking about here is a gentleman who came in, who schooled the Highlanders backline, Japan backline, Sunwolves backline, Otago backline. He is a former All Blacks fly half. Tony Brown has completely taken the Springbok attack to another level. And he's only 2 years into his initial 4-year cycle. So we're talking about a guy who has got the Springboks scoring more tries than they've ever scored, ever. And the wonderful thing is that there's still 2 years to go to the next World Cup, and he is only getting started. So do the Springboks want now him to go to the All Blacks? Absolutely not, because Tony has been working with 50 players for the last 2 years, and there's so much more to come.
I think it's about the intelligence, what he has, what he can give across, and the bottom line is that unfortunately, when you've been working that closely with Rassie is such a scientist of rugby that he delves deep into every aspect of the game, and we don't want to lose that. I think, Mike, you brought an important point regarding the gentleman that he is, but is rugby that way? Because if we're going to be hosting New Zealand in a couple of months, and you decide to go across and then face the very same Springboks within that short space of time, what does that say about the man himself if he goes that direction?
Rob, I'm going to remind you and the listeners, Felix Jones won the World Cup with us. He left us for England. We're not saying that. We're keeping quiet about that.
Mm-hmm.
So he took all our IQ as well to England. He didn't last. He came back to the Springboks. He's coaching again to the Springboks. I'll take you back again. Matthew Proudfoot, forward coach, 2019, winning forward coach of the Springboks. He also left us to go to England. These things are possible.
Yes.
We can't smoke screen the windows. It's possible.
And there's no formula.
There's no formula to it. And Rassie knows it because he's also done it. Rob, he's done it. He said for the family. Ninaba has done it. He won the World Cup and went to Ireland for the family.
Yeah.
We can't stand in his way, Rob. We can never stand in anyone's way. Once again, if you look at our management team, Jones, Flattery, Brown, those are 3 international management staff. We've got to make sure as South Africans, we've got enough in the pot so that we don't have to worry about such things that are happening. But it's up to the coach's choice for us to even have brought Tony Brown, which when he came for the first time, there was a lot of questions around Rassie bringing him through here. He's here now.
But you were indicating the financial. Do we have the financial muscle to hold them down to the position?
There is.
Okay. Do we have the financial muscle to bring you on board here tonight? Of course we do. The number is 060-708-0484. 060-708-0484. That's the WhatsApp voice note number. Your views are as important as the views that are here in the studio with Mike Greenaway as well as Thando Banana. It is the Room Dividers. Otherwise, give us a call on 011-883-8947.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Another day at the Department of Drama.
Any disasters planned today, ma'am?
Yes. Family guy Vuyo. Give him a flat tire and peak traffic.
No. He's with iWise. Car insurance with roadside assist.
Fine. Sarah, burst geyser.
Also covered.
The Kumalos. Hailstorm.
No drama for them. Also with iWise.
iWise Insurance. Sure.
Skip the drama. Call 0860-939-493 or visit iwise.co.za. iWise is underwritten by Old Mutual Insure Limited, a licensed FSP and non-life insurer. T's and C's apply.
Kisama. Humunati. It's been a long year, but now there's a joy. What sisters, Mari? Matita Ari. We're in full swing. Why? Because Monzanti, we don't wait for the party. Rewula Poots. Whether it's the beach, the bush, or the braai, summer only starts at Rewula Poots. So get a ride fit for the season. Suzuki Wula Poots. Open summer. Book your test drive today at suzukiauto.co.za.
It's back, it's better, and it's bigger than big. Food Lovers Market is bringing you the biggest deals of the season with our famous Summer Carnival. Get amazing value on everything you need, from fresh fruit and veg to butchery favorites and all your pantry essentials. Don't miss out. Valid from Thursday, 22 January, only at Food Lovers Market. Summer Carnival is coming soon.
Managing your workforce shouldn't be complicated. That's why businesses choose Onacy, a proudly South African cloud-based payroll and HR solution. From payroll and e-recruitment to performance management and self-service tools, we streamline the way businesses handle their people. Scalable, secure, and always online, our system evolves with your needs because your workforce deserves the best. Switch to Onacy and experience payroll and HR done right. Visit onacy.com today.
This is your captain speaking.
To all passengers who booked at Flight Center last year, congratulations! You've officially upgraded to Travel Legends. You were out there living it up, posting beach pics and sipping mocktails at sunset. To everyone else still thinking about it, this is your wake-up call. It's a new year. Time to turn someday into this year. Visit flightcenter.co.za or your nearest Flight Center store today. Flight Center, your center for travel.
Start the new year stronger with immersive displays and tech with the power to keep up with you. The Samsung Blue Tag sale is back. Get the Galaxy A17, now 3,499 Rand, save 500. And save 2,000 on the Galaxy Tab S10 Lite, now 6,999 Rand. Ready to upgrade? Hurry! Sale now on until 8 February. Available at Samsung stores, online and participating retailers.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
And as South Africans, they continue to make waves abroad. Coach Rolani Mukwenda joins us live now. I'm sure this would make you happy.
We are the champions, my friends. And we'll keep on fighting.
As we play that in the background, Coach, First of all, congratulations. I mean, does winning your first trophy in Algeria mean that you're personally in a different level?
Winning a title is always special, especially now with a special club. Of course, all the clubs I've worked for are very, very special, with special fans and special history and special legacy. But there's a very special connection between ourselves and MC Alger. The celebrations come and go, but it's what you give to the people that support the club, you know.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. The scrums collapse. The tackles hit like thunder.
That is sensational rugby.
And the tries, they light up the scoreboard.
So impressive, it really is.
With Robert Marawa on Room Dividers.
Iconic Room Dividers.
On Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Very silly comment.
Siyatumuza nje manje. Dagi msakaza ngibonga.
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
MSW.
Why?
It's multicast, baba.
You know the story.
When excuses run out.
Such behavior can only be rooted out by VAR, Rob.
The truth clocks in.
It's tough. It's tough.
Hashtag MSW.
It is the Room Dividers on 060-708-0484, 060-708-0484. Otherwise, do give us a call directly in studio, 011-888-947.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening to the MSW shareholders. Good evening to the guests in studio. Once more, let me pass my condolences to the passing of the late Springbok Rugby Women's captain, Lusanda. What I need to mention to you is that 2023, if not 2024, she won a Sports Person of the Year for the Eastern Cape, irrespective of gender. That prize carried Apollo, I think it's Apollo Vivo, and Lusanda declined it on the basis that at the time she was staying in a squad camp, and she wanted an RTP house. So the PCM mayor, Honorable Process Fargo, and Mr. Chipa Bangezi of Chipa United stepped in and built a decent and dignified home in East London, and also let her keep the polo, and that was a good thing that it did while she was still alive, That's my first thing. And secondly, Mr. Robman, 2026 in the Room Device, can you also put a focus on club rugby, as they don't get as much airtime as schoolboy rugby, as well as varsity rugby, Just club rugby, the grassroots where our greatest players come from as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that heads up. Thank you for that suggestion. We do open ourselves up for those possibilities there. But I think the main thrust was the condolence message to the late Lusanda, as we mentioned earlier on. Thando Manana, directly involved, as I said, from the beginning. You shared your journey with me personally, as every time you would go to the hospital, not too many people knew in what condition she was in. But the family stood by her side, you stood by her side, and unfortunately succumbed right at the end, towards the end of last year. Firstly, condolences to yourself as well, to the family, condolences to the teammates, her loved ones, and everybody that really, really cared for her. How would you describe those critical moments in realizing that she had limited time on this earth?
Rob, it's a sad thing for to talk about it on the radio. But I'll say one thing about Lusanda: phenomenal human being. Made her debut as an 18-year-old, played over a decade for the game, and was an exceptional talent. Short as it was, though, Rob, let me say this: short as it was, she conquered dreams many in their 30s, in their 40s, in their late 20s never achieved. That I have to say. And I think, Rob, mine was to see, from when she was diagnosed with the gastric cancer in February, to eventually passing on the 16th of December. Just to see that journey, just to see the pain she went through, and just for me to realize and see what and how deadly cancer is and what it can do, whether you're young, mid-age, or old. It's devastating. But Rob, she fought till the end. Rob. And I think credit must go to their doctors. And here I speak of specialists, diagnosed by Dr. Mbata, just in Pretoria, did a small procedure. Because people just thought it's a normal stomach running tummy and whatever Dr. Mbata found the problem. And when he found the problem, it was just said, this is the situation. And immediately it was on stage 4. Now, the fright on the young girl's eye and having to understand what stage 4 is from stage 1.
So stage 4 upon diagnosis.
Upon diagnosis, that's correct.
Yeah.
So it also talks of what the caller has said. Eastern Cape Player of the Year, wins a polo. She was in your show, Rob. She told you the story.
She was right here.
She told you the story.
And we promised.
Yes.
Fights.
Yeah. And she got the car. But she wanted a house because she said she doesn't sleep in a car. I spoke earlier. I said she lived a phenomenal life. And that was what Lusanda was all about. But I think, Rob, where she is, and I'm going to put everyone in just their comfort, is she's in a better place where she is than what I saw. It's not nice seeing someone dropping every time you visit, because it tells you every time there's a red alarm over her head. You're not seeing any improvement, Rob. And the sad part is, I'll tell each and everyone so that they get to understand. So in my visit in November in East London, she was at St. Dominic, thanks to them, because that's where she was handled all the time. She's in the bed, and then I see the stomach. The belly is a bit big. So I phoned Dr. Sbunduli. I said, Doc, I don't like the stomach. I mean, I'm not part of that, but it's concerning. I'm there, but the stomach, and she's not eating, but I'm worried about the stomach. And then he says to me, the organs are failing. And that for me just realized that we're not going to have Lusanda for a very long time. Is that she's only got a couple of weeks, and 16th of December, she passed this earth. And may her soul rest in peace. But Rob, a phenomenal woman. SA Player of the Year, 2022. Eastern Cape Player of the Year, 2023. Brilliant player. Brilliant player. Has won more of the Women's Premier Division title than anyone up until now.
Well, I think a wonderful tribute, Manana, that you've paid to somebody who was a soldier. Like you rightfully said, she was right here in the studio after many of her successes as well. Mike Greenaway, with the limited time that we do happen to have, the Nations Cup. I mean, it is bold as the Battle of the Hemispheres as well. A showdown between the Six Nations and Rugby Championship, the biggest rugby tournament outside of the World Cup as well. Let's get a broader breakdown of the Nations Cup right now.
Yeah. Just for listeners who like me, I mean, a month or two ago, I heard about the Nations Cup. I was like, what the heck is that? And do we need another cup? And so on. For those who just need a little bit of kind of education about what it's all about. So for years, of course, Southern Hemisphere, and let's just talk about South Africa. So we would have in June, July, we would have Wales come for 2 or 3 tests. We'd have England come for 2 or 3 tests. They would send a team. Sometimes they'd rotate players, whatever, it doesn't matter. But that was how it worked. And then in November, of course, the Springboks would go, and Australia, New Zealand, I'm talking about the Southern Hemisphere in general, would tour Europe in November. So what the Nations Cup is, and folks, I'm telling you now, it's actually not a bad thing. It's a good thing, because it's not adding more games. It's just adding games that have more value. So what we're going to have now, instead of, say, Wales coming for 3 tests against South Africa in June, July, we're going to have 3 different teams coming, and they're playing for log points. They're not just playing for, like, a development squad is coming here to see what they can do for the Springboks looking ahead. It is a match where there are log points involved. And the first match that the Springboks play, folks, and this is mouth-watering, is England on July the 6th at Ellis Park. Springboks versus England, log points at stake. And let me just get to the point here. So what happens is 3 teams will visit South Africa. There will be points at stake, goes onto a ladder. all across the Southern Hemisphere, the same thing is happening. 3 different teams will be visiting New Zealand, 3 different teams will be visiting Australia, and so on. And then we get to November, when normally the Springboks, New Zealand, Australia, etc., visit the Northern Hemisphere. Now we play teams once again to get log points. And what it really is, folks, it's the Southern Hemisphere Rugby Championship sides, plus Japan, who've been seconded to our sort of hemisphere, if they like. They're only just north of us, and Fiji. And we play the Six Nations teams. Okay, so it's the Six Nations versus the Rugby Championship. Everyone plays each other to get log points, and then the teams at the top of the table play each other in a finals weekend at Twickenham right at the end of November. North versus South, Rugby Championship versus Six Nations, and there's a massive trophy at stake. So it's not more games, but just games with some value. And boy, if I was Rassie Erasmus at the end of this year and I nailed the Nations Championship a year before I go to Australia to play the World Cup, I would be a pretty happy customer.
Sure. All right. Great breakdown there, Mike Greenaway. But from a Nations Cup perspective, again, Thando Manana, my question is, and it's a simple one from an observation perspective, I mean, is this a real, true rugby revolution or a logistical nightmare?
No, it's not. It's a money-making thing. And just switching to the next page, where earlier on, you'd have the inbound tour, which recently you'd play 2 test matches against a tier 1 nation, and then you are forced to play a tier 2 nation as in the last 3rd test. That's gone. So therefore now, all of a sudden, you've got the strength versus strength. You've got a World Cup happening in Australia, which features a lot of tier 2 nations. Now, you're going to have this strong competition, Rob. Next year, you're going to have a World Cup. You've got to balance the equilibrium. From my aspect is, why not do it post the World Cup?
So you disagree about the structure of it?
No. I'm saying, Rob, why change just before the World Cup and isolate tier 2 nations? Because what you're going to find in the World Cup, you're going to find all of those tier 2 nations in the World Cup, people saying they're wasting our time.
Yeah, dropping out heavy scores.
Yeah. We've seen that. They've tried it even in the end of the year tour. So for me, it's good to have, Rob, because from a broadcaster point of view, millions, if not billions, are made on that. On just
eyeballs
100%.
Well. Yeah.
But what it also means is the developmental side of these tier 2 nations is needed, Rob, because we're not football. Rugby is not football. People are eventually going to get tired of watching the so-called 6 or 7 best rugby team in the world. Where is Wales today? Where is Wales? Wales is regarded as a tier 1. I don't regard them as a tier 1. I think they should be playing as a tier 2, for example. But because of historical values,
on the reputation,
100%, Rob. Yeah. Because of that, they are brought through. So for me, it's good to have this competition, Rob. You have it. Yeah. But for me, rugby is not football. You've just extended the World Cup, and you've brought an in-between game, which has never been there, to show that you're growing the game. But the Nations Cup that people are going to speak of this year excludes all of them.
Who has the final word today? Who's got the final word?
Give it to Mike. Give it to Mike. I'm a new person 2020. I'm a new person. I want to sleep well, Rob. Not with regret.
I'm actually with Thando.
A new man, what?
I'm not gonna divide the room.
Go for it, Mike.
Look, folks. Ultimately, it's exactly what Thando says. It's the 12 best teams in the world having their own tournament every second year. It's biennial. It is a little bit of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. Being it as it may, how does it interpret Or how does it translate into what's going to happen in the next World Cup? Because for those richer teams, it is an absolutely magnificent platform for them to get their ducks in a row ahead of Australia next year.
All right, so Mike Greenaway has the final word. Thanks for joining the Room Dividers on Marawa
How
Sports
did
Worldwide.
he do it? He did it within 60 seconds. I couldn't.
That's how radio is, Mr. Manana. We're not a gospel show here where you can go on and on and on like you used
So
to
you
do.
come back from Paris as a preacher.
No.
You come back from Paris as a preacher.
Parish.
No,
And
I said Paris.
No, parish and Paris almost
It's similar.
sounds the same.
Okay.
So, oui, sir. Thank you for the observation.
Merci.
Merci on you too, sir.
No, I said merci, not Messi.
No,
I said not Messi.
What do you
merci.
say? No, but you said it in Afrikaans.
No.
That's the problem. Merci. But anyway, it will take another 4 years, Mr. Manan. It's fine. The World Cup would eventually go back to France. You'll have another shot at French. It's been the Room Dividers on Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. Powered by F&B. Spend, save, and score when you get in the game with F&B this summer. We'll be back again soon. The golfer versus the author. That's how we dub it here. He does rugby.
The golfer has a name, by the way.
The gopher or the golfer?
The golfer, mine.
Golfer. Yeah. What's his name? The golfer.
You know him, name him.
Tiger Woods.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Let the game begin. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.